Yo, what is up guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Malt channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back yet again, everybody. We are back with another fragrance review today. And this fragrance right here that I'm about to review, you guys wanted me to review this. This was really requested a lot over the past few months. And finally, with fall, just around the corner, I think that this is the perfect time to be reviewing this fragrance right here. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking and subscribing and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel. So please continue to support the channel, guys. We are headed to 13,000 subscribers. It's just around the corner as well. So if you haven't done so, it's just a couple of clicks, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Now, the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than Penhaligon'S Halfeti Leather. Halfeti Leather right here. This is the second flanker of the already widely popular Halfeti, okay? And I haven't done my review on Halfeti. I figured that a lot of y'all probably know more about Halfeti than its flankers. So what I did was, on the order, I did the flankers first. I did Halfeti Cedar a few months ago. You guys reported that to me as the best one, and so I started with Halfeti Cedar. And of course, a lot of y'all after that review wanted me to do leather right here. So leather, Halfeti Leather, this is the second flanker of the already popular Halfeti. Now this fragrance right here, Halfeti Leather, much like Halfeti and Halfeti Cedar, these are part of the Penhaligons Trade Routes collection, guys, okay? And that right there is basically the Silk Road, guys. The Silk Road was an old trade route from China all the way to the Middle East and beyond, back in the days of antiquity. And Halfeti is a small village in Turkey. It's sunken now, it's underwater, or some of it is underwater, but it was an old village in Turkey where a lot of the trade routes was going through, okay? So that is Halfeti. And this one right here, we do have a lot of questions, okay? Number one, why is this fragrance popular? Why is this fragrance popular? Why do a lot of people like Halfeti Leather? And I'm talking about the mainstream. Why is that? And number two, we are going to address the performance, because that is the ding. That is the one chink in the armor of this fragrance that a lot of people are reporting. They are saying that this fragrance doesn't project strong and that this fragrance only lasts 3 hours. That is ridiculous for a Penhaligons fragrance, an expensive one at that. So we are going to answer those questions right there. Why is it popular? Why is it really loved? What's up with the scent? And what's up with the performance right here? But before we do that, let's go spray this thing right now. Ooh. Okay guys, let's talk about the opening of Halfeti Leather, shall we? Now this opening is lovely, it's magical, it's mystical, it's amazing, and this opening is comprised of really popular fragcom notes. I mean, right here on the opening, you're gonna get plum, plum, you're gonna get cardamom, you're gonna get lavender, you're gonna get nutmeg, you're gonna get green notes as well as citruses, and you're also gonna get the early appearance of leather right here, a well-blended leather right here. Now, just by looking at the notes, you already know why this is so popular in fragcom, guys. Plum. Plum is the big note that really is becoming the next big thing in fragcom. Like almost every fragrance that has plum, especially if you mix it with amber, tobacco, incense in a fragrance, boom, it's a winner right there, because plum is really a great smelling note. You are gonna get a prominent plum right here in Halfeti Leather. This fragrance also has an inviting, warm, spicy nature, and that is care of your cardamom and nutmeg, okay? I would say cardamom is the stronger spice. Again, a very popular fragcom note that, imagine that, mixes with the plum. Plum and cardamom, these are the two big notes right here in the beginning. It's a blanket of plum and cardamom, and also you are going to get the early appearance of the leather right here. So the leather comes in early. You are going to get little whiffs here and there of the leather, and that's really to satisfy you guys when it comes to the name. I mean, it does say Halfeti Leather, so it's supposed to give you that leather sensation early on, and I like that they did that. It's very masculine once the leather really appears right here. Now the green notes here is a mystery. They really didn't define what these green notes are, but in my opinion, this right here is cypriol oil. It's Nagarmotha cypriol oil. I think that that is included right here in the beginning, guys. And I said it before, that cypriol oil is a possible replacement for oud because it gives you that earthy sensation, earthy woody sensation that smells really different. It smells really exotic, but at the same time, there's no animalic part right there with cypriol oil. The cypriol oil right here is the green part of Halfeti leather right here, and it gives you a little bit of that Middle Eastern touch without going all out animalic like oud. And I think that that is a contributing factor as to why this fragrance is popular in the mainstream. Now, the one thing I really like about this opening is the addition of lavender. Okay, the addition of lavender is a great big thing right here in the intro. It's a genius addition because the lavender is basically your uplifting balancer. Okay, and it's because when you spray this fragrance, I mean, we already know the plum and the cardamom, that's your 1-2 knockout punch. Immediately it's warm and spicy and inviting, perfect for the fall. But then they add this balancer, which is the lavender, that creates this, you know, uplifting whiff as you are smelling this. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3. You know, you've got your jab, cross, and hook. Okay, now it's 3 really great, you know, punches to your nose that you guys are really gonna like, with the addition of that uplifting lavender right here. Now the big question right here, where are the citruses? Guys, I can barely smell these, okay? I mean, you gotta understand, the cardamom, the nutmeg, and the plum, this is it's a thick blanket, okay? It's a huge curve, guys, and it blankets over, you know, these citruses. So I mean, some of y'all have reported that you can smell a little bit of that citrus, a little bit of that bergamot, but to me, guys, no. My nose is just directed towards the warm spicy notes, as well as the plum, as well as the lavender. I really can barely smell these citruses right there, and it makes sense because it's a thick blanket of warm spicy notes plus plum that will take over these citruses. Now this opening right here of Penhaligon'S Halfeti Leather, in my opinion, is a love at first sniff, especially if you haven't smelled any plum, warm, spicy perfumes. This is the first time for a lot of y'all, or if you are curious about Middle Eastern perfumes, I mean, this opening will definitely get you guys, okay? Why? Because A, it's mystical, it's magical, it's got all these beautiful effects of a warm and spicy perfume with that beautiful plum right there. But also, in my opinion, this is a presence type of perfume. This perfume has your cypriol oil, it does have the leather, and so immediately you have this perfume that also makes people known that you are here, you have arrived. It's a presence type of perfume, and also it is very masculine. It's very masculine, guys, especially again with that leather and cypriol oil right there behind all those other spices and plum. It is very masculine right here. So this is a guy's perfume. It will be very seductive. It will hypnotize people around you just right here from this opening. Now headed into the mid, this fragrance continues on with a very familiar formula of sweet and spicy right here. So the prominent note right here in the mid is going to be your cinnamon. Okay, it's the cinnamon spice that is really the most prominent note right here in the mid. But of course, the really good thing about Penhaligons is they add a few layers of complexity, so it's not just as simple as going straight into the cinnamon right here. Now another note right here in the mid that, you know, I'm glad Penhaligons added right here is the cumin. Okay, the cumin is an amazing note right here that is added, and I know it's a love it or hate it for many guys, but cumin, guys, especially with Middle Eastern perfumes, warm and spicy perfumes, the cumin works absolutely great by adding a layer of complexity into the mix, guys, so you don't just get the sweetness of the cinnamon. Okay, so the cumin is great right here, intensifies headed into the mid, guys, and it makes it really feel like a Middle Eastern perfume right here. Now the spices also continue into the mid, guys, but what happens about an hour later is that you are going to get the appearance of rose. That's right, rose does come in right here, and you can tell it's rose because suddenly the whiffs from the lavender start turning into like a rosy whiff right here. And of course, this is a gradient, obviously, a gradient heading into the fade to black, and the rose is a prominent note as well. However, it is not going to take over from the cinnamon. I would say that it is not a takeover rose. It's a 50-50 split between cinnamon and rose. I would say these are the most prominent notes in the mid. It is beautiful because cinnamon spice is lovely, but then now you have that extra floral dimension of the rose. And there are other floral notes right here in the mid. Just like the opening, Penhaligons added a few complex layers. You are also going to get hints of violet as well as jasmine. I wouldn't say that these floral notes are really on top of this rose. I think the rose is the most detectable one, but what they do is they add a layer of complexity. So you're smelling different whiffs of florals with that violet and that jasmine right there. But again, you've got the cinnamon spice, the nutmeg, the cumin. These are your intensifying warm and spicy notes with that floral mid right there. Now, you've heard me say this a couple times in this review. I've said that this fragrance is magical. And why do I say that? I say that because of the balancers, okay? Because you're gonna get these aura whiffs as you are smelling the warm and spicy right there. The warm and spicy part of Halfeti Leather, including the leather, is basically the base, okay? And then what Penhaligons did was they added the swirl of these uplifting whiffs, again, from the lavender in the beginning to the florals to make you feel like there's a spell around you, okay? And it smells really, really good. Now, right here in the dry down, the multi-floral swirl now turns into lovely incense. That's right, incense is going to be the bridge to our dry down right here, and it's a nice composition that really comes from this multi-floral approach. As you get the rose, violet, and jasmine kind of come together right there, it immediately bridges into this really lovely sweet and smoky incense. Again, very magical. On top of just that masculine classy look of this fragrance, it's also got this magical feel care of the incense. The leather also reappears here in this dry down right here, and there are going to be some woods, there's going to be some oud. However, the oud right here, guys, predictably is going to be your non-animalic dark oud wood, okay? You could probably just write it off as dark woods, okay? So the oud is not some animalic oud right here, in my opinion. Basically is gonna be that incense. And the big note right here in the dry down, guys, of Penhaligon'S Halfeti Leather is going to be patchouli. Yes, it's patchouli. It's that spicy, sweet, and earthy patchouli that, in my opinion, spikes up right here in the dry down, and it matches very, very well with incense, guys, okay? It's a great match with incense, with the woods, with the leather. It is going to be a patchouli incense dry down, in my opinion, with hints of leather and woods, but mostly it's going to be patchouli and incense. Okay, guys, let's go talk about the most controversial part of Penhaligon'S Halfeti Leather, and that is the performance. A lot of people are saying that this fragrance does not last, that this fragrance doesn't project. What is up with all of that? Now, let me tell you guys, first and foremost, a lot of the notes of Penhaligon'S Halfeti Leather are these thick blanket curve notes, okay? These are thick blanket curve notes that are usually reserved for the dry down, okay? So immediately it gives you this warm and spicy feel. That's why a lot of people like it personally, because these are really personal. You know, when it comes to the curve, they don't project as much, but for the wearer, it's like, oh, 10 out of 10. And what Penhaligons did right here to balance all of that out is to add these lingering whiffs of other notes, the lavender, the florals, the incense. They did add this, so there's a little bit of projection around you. Now, I will say this upon testing, guys, that this fragrance performs even stronger when it comes to windy or outdoorsy environments, okay? So once the wind hits you, it kind of diffuses the thickness into the air. That's my experience right here. So maybe when you're indoors, this fragrance will project an aura scent thanks to those uplifting whiffs that balance it out. But I think when you're outdoors, and I'm sure this is worn in the Middle East even in the summer, but outdoors is where, you know, this fragrance really hits. And possibly when it comes to the fall, when it's a little bit colder and windier, maybe that is the best time to really wear this, because it will help these thick notes really diffuse into the air. Now, does that mean this fragrance is weak? No, it is not weak. This fragrance is not weak, guys. I mean, in terms of overall longevity, I could smell this all the way up to like 15 hours. Like, I woke up the next day, I tried it at night, and I woke up and I could still smell traces of that incense, the woods. I could still smell the patchouli all the way up to the 15-hour mark. This fragrance has so many layers, so many thick layers, that it really takes time for each layer to peel out and roll and go into the air right there. So like I said, you know, the wind can actually help do that. But in terms of longevity, no, this is not a 3-hour scent. This one lasted quite a long time for me. Now, when it comes to the sillage part of this fragrance has a significant sillage for 8 to 9 hours, guys. And that makes sense because in every stage of this fragrance, from top notes to base notes, you do have these lingering aura notes, the uplifting whiffs right there. They're still gonna be there. They are gonna perform for you guys. And again, mostly you gotta think about the usage, right? This one here is a presence, a masculine, classy type of fragrance that will invite people. This is a seducer. Yes, I said it. I think this is a seducer. I think that if you're gonna attract somebody on date night, this is gonna get them. It is very sultry, inviting. It's got enough spices to get them, and it's also warm and inviting. So definitely, I think this is a seducer, and you're not gonna need more than 8 hours to do the job, okay? I think that it works very well, not only for creating presence for men, but also for attracting women, okay? Attracting another woman, because it is so inviting. It is sweet, it is warm, it is spicy, it's somewhat exotic, right? And I mean, those are things that create mystery and presence in a man. So I think that this is the perfect perfume when it comes to those fall, winter date nights that you have a one-on-one. I think that's what it is. And for those that were expecting that this was gonna be a room conqueror, guys, this is not a room conqueror, okay? Again, this is an intimate one-on-one or a personal type of perfume that is absolutely bonkers amazing, okay? And let me tell you, why is this fragrance popular? It's really popular because I would say, if I look into the genealogy of this fragrance, this is probably only 40 to 50% Middle Eastern, okay? It's probably 40 to 50% Middle Eastern. If you match this with other Middle Eastern type of perfumes that use plum, they do go heavy on oud, they do go heavy on saffron, but right here, guys, in this fragrance, I think it's a very balanced amount of already popular mainstream notes mixed with a little bit of Middle Eastern right here, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of incense, a little bit of spice to make it feel like it is a trade roots perfume right here. But I would say really this is more mainstream than your average Middle Eastern perfume right here. And with that being said, this is really safe. This is really safe for those that want to get into Middle Eastern scents without overly doing it, who are afraid of what the feedback might be. This, because of that 40 to 50% Middle Eastern part of it, I think is absolutely safe for those that want to get into this right here. And again, it does utilize those magical aspects of Middle Eastern perfumes into this fragrance right here. So I think it's a safe buy. It's a safe blind buy for the fall. Ultimately, guys, this is an amazing fragrance, guys. It's a great fragrance. I think it's full bottle worthy, and y'all should definitely try it as we are headed into the fall winter season, guys, okay? And let me know on the comments below, for those that have tried this fragrance, what y'all think of this fragrance. Did you get a similar type of feedback or reaction that I did? Let me know in the comments below. Or if it was different, if Halfeti Leather did not last on your skin, let me know as well. I mean, there are no right or wrong answers. I'm just telling you guys my experience, my feedback, my opinion on this fragrance right here. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Again, like and subscribing helps the channel. Check out my other Penhaligons videos at the end of this video. I will link them all, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Hopefully I can do the Petra one, the new Penhaligons Petra. Hopefully I get to do that very soon. So I'll see you guys. Have a great week. God bless. Take care. Peace.